Hi, everybody. Amanda Herr from Amanda Herr Coaching, and I am so glad that you have joined me today. We have a wonderful topic to discuss, and it's 90 days to career freedom. So, what we're going to talk about today is how in the next 90 days you can actually transform your career. So, that's either getting unstuck from where you're at and maybe going after that new promotion, or it could be completely transforming your career altogether and using your talents for something totally different. So, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the presentation. I would love it as I present. If you have questions, please ask me. I would love to answer them live for you. So, don't forget, this is interactive. Or if you're watching this as a replay, please feel free to put your questions in the comment area and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. So let's begin. My handy dandy software that I'm still learning how to use. There we go. Okay, so 90 days to career freedom. So, first of all, like I said, I am so happy you are here. And before we begin, I just want to make sure that we have a couple of things out of the way. If you are successful in your career currently, but you're feeling stalled, that's okay. You can move forward and on your own terms. You can be in control of your career. So, in the next 90 days, you can actually get unstuck and maybe go for that promotion that you're looking for, or maybe, volunteer for that project that you've been holding back on. There's ways of doing that. So, you can get yourself unstuck, but feeling this way is okay. If you've been concerned that you're successful by, other people's standards, but maybe not your own, and you're just not feeling quite fulfilled, that's okay. You can move forward on your own terms. And in the next 90 days, you can actually create something that really feeds you and is actually speaking directly to what your wants and needs are and fulfills you in your career. If you aren't sure where you want to go next in your career, it's okay. Okay. You can move forward on your own terms. You can use this next 90 days to really learn more about yourself and set that foundation for the path that you're going to take into figuring out what it is that you want to do. And if you've ever been afraid to take a chance, that's okay too. You can move forward on your own terms. Changing things up or going after something new can be quite jarring and it can make you feel a little bit fearful. And that's just normal. That's human behavior. So it's okay. And you can move forward on your own terms. So, what most people don't actually understand is that the definition of success is different for everybody. So, what I call success for me is probably different than what you call success. And it's different than what, your sister calls success, or it's different than what my mother calls success. And I love her, but, different times. So, there's different ways of looking at success. And it doesn't matter that it's different than everybody else's. It just matters that it's yours. And it matters that you understand that you control your success. It's not your family, it's not your boss, it's not your coworker, it's you. And it's okay to want your own version of success. So, taking a promotion as an example, just because you can, maybe isn't the best idea because maybe that doesn't align with what your overall vision of success is. Or maybe taking that promotion does align, but it is your decision. It is your choice. You are creating this on your own terms. And here's the thing. This is like one of the main things I talk to my clients about. Your value system. The value system, you probably have never been asked, what are your values? What are your core values? You've probably never asked yourself that. It's one of the most foundational pieces that's involved when you're thinking about, okay, I'm in mid-career, what do I want next? Because you are at a point where you can figure out what those core values are. And then you can align your next 20 years of your career, whatever it might be, to align with those. It's when you have core values and your career isn't aligning with those core values, that you feel out of balance and things just aren't jiving. So you're not your best at work, and you're not your best at home, and you're just feeling completely unbalanced, and you're not happy, and you're not fulfilled. So your values need to align with what you're doing, and also with whatever company that you're at. That is the base foundation of success for anyone. Success looks different for everyone, but the absolute same is that your value system, whatever that is, has to align with what you're doing, or you're not going to be fulfilled, you're not going to be happy, and you're not going to be your best. And you can absolutely have it all. You can. It just depends on what you call having it all. I think when I was growing up, I'm 51. So when I was growing up, it was like, oh, you can have it all. You can have all the money and the family and the job and the this and the that. So exhausting, right? So exhausting. Now I can have all of that if I want, or I could have, success on my own terms, not the corporate position, because my version of success is not that. But I can have this amazing, company that I have. I can have the money. I can raise my daughter. I can have time. I can have hobbies, all these things. That's my version of success. And it is achievable. Your version of success is achievable for you. So that's the core thing that we need to understand as we go through this 90 days. So this 90 days to career success, because you can't really have career success or success overall unless you know what your definition of that really truly is. Okay, so that's the first foundational piece to our discussion today. So again, I'm happy that you're here. And so welcome. And now we're going to talk about why everyone needs a plan. And then we're going to talk about what the Her Success 90-day reframe model really is. And we'll talk about how to plan things out so that you can reach the goals that you want. And then I'm going to go ahead and take some questions. Okay, so who am I? Well, my name's Amanda. I own Amanda Her Coaching, and I am an ICF accredited professional coach, so a career and leadership coach. I was trained at the International, the IPEC, the Institute of Professional Excellence in Coaching. And I've been helping women achieve their goals and their ideas of success for over a decade now. Previous to that, I was vice president of CNN ad sales for the Midwest. So I spent 17 years there. And also, I have worked at different agencies throughout the country. So I am very versed in digital marketing and advertising, but I choose to spend my time building up the careers of others. So that's who I am. And I love what I do. And my whole goal is I want every woman to love her career as much as I do. So I went through this whole transformation. A decade ago, I made this change. I asked myself these questions. I got into coaching, and I was coached by a coach, and I realized I love that model and decided to become a coach. So I understand what it feels like to be mid-career and wonder what's next. Why am I not fulfilled? Where do I want to go? How do I get that promotion? What do I, how do I become a better leader? How do I transform my talents into something totally new? I get that because I was there, but also I've been coaching women for the last decade around all of those different questions. So it's really important for me to show up for the women where they're at, and also have them show up for the coaching process. Because once you lean in and you start really thinking about this for yourself, it really does become transformational for you. So why does everyone need a plan? Why does everyone need a plan or 90-day, I call it the bug out bag, or 90 days of transformation, right, for their career? And the reason is really that today's economy is not tomorrow's promise. We all know that, layoffs happen, changes in the company happen, different things that we have no control over actually affect our career. So we need to understand who we are, what our value system is, what we want, where we want to go, in order for when something like that happens, for us to be able to say, okay, that happened. I'm not going to stay down. I'm going to get back up, and I'm going to go after what I want because I understand what that is. internal changes. Sometimes there's internal changes in companies that aren't necessarily beneficial for us. Maybe that mentor that we had has retired or moved into a different division. And so we're kind of like left, uh, I guess, hanging and not knowing exactly where we fit in anymore. So if we understand what our goals are, and, if you are looking at where you want to be and 90 days, a year's time, 10 years time, 5 years time, if you understand what your value system is and where you want to go with your career and you take ownership of that, it doesn't matter that someone has gone into another division. It doesn't matter that there's been internal changes and org changes that affect where you are right now, because you can say, okay, fine, here's where I'm at now. I am still the one that writes my own story when it comes to my career, and I can continue on my path. The other thing is that sometimes there's unexpected opportunity. So on the flip side, maybe something comes up, excuse me, and you weren't quite ready for it. But if you understand, does this fit my overall core values? Does this fit my plan of what I want to do in my career? Does this fit what I was planning on doing? Then you are more apt to be able to go for that opportunity if it is a fit than you would be if you didn't know, what you were going to be doing and you were just leaving it up to your boss, your supervisor, your coworkers, and you were just kind of riding the ride until that next level came. You can feel lost. You can get lost. So you're in a position for a long time and you're kind of just now lost in the fray. So, you can feel lost like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this company. You can get lost as far as you've been there for so long, people stop thinking of you as a mover and a shaker. But you can feel like, I'm kind of stuck. I don't know where to go. So if you have a plan, if you're thinking about your overall goals, if you know what your core values are, if you understand that you're in control, then you're more apt to be able to push forward. And you're not going to be bored because, if you have a plan, if you're thinking about what's next, if you know where you want to go and you're on that track, then you are every single day, no matter what's going on in the office, you are every single day working towards your goal. Okay. So you're not working towards the company's goal. Well, you are, but you're basically working overall towards your goals. So you're in control. You're the one moving that bus. You're the one driving your career. You're the one. So no matter what anybody does, no matter what happens in the industry, no matter what happens in the economy, when you have a plan, you are able to bob and weave to get to where you want to go. And life changes do come up. So let's say, something happens and you have a move to another city. Well, that's fine. Now you're going to have to go work for another company, but you know what kind of company you want to work for. Or let's say you decide to have children and then that's going to change. Or let's say your child goes to college and now you're empty nesting. Life changes. So when you have a plan and you know what you want and you know what fits, not only are you balanced and more happy, you are actually able to kind of change with the times because you're in control again. You're not, again, at the mercy of what somebody who doesn't even know your last name, generally, unless it's on a list, decides, right? It's your career. At the end of the day, this is your career, and you get to decide what you want to do with it. So that's why it's so important to have your own plan. So I work with my clients on the 90-day reframe process. And what it does is it reframes the way that they're looking at their career in 90 days. And it looks at, what your value system is. It looks at what your vision of success is. And then it actually helps you make a roadmap to get to that success. And it also has areas where you're reflecting upon what has gone well and what has not gone well, and planning for different things that might happen along the way. The first thing that I work with my clients on is we actually look at who am I? Who is my authentic self? And what do I want? We look at what your value system is. I keep talking about that value system, but what is it? What are the 3 core values for you? Mine is family, curiosity, and authenticity. Those are my 3 core values. Everything that I do and every decision that I make for my career, for my company, for my family, everything goes through those 3 filters: family, curiosity, and authenticity. Okay. So I know that those are my 3 main ones. If something is out of balance or rubs up against one of those, I don't do it, because I know that if it's rubbing up against that, I am not going to be happy or be my best self anywhere, home or work. So if a job opportunity comes my way or a client comes my way and it's somehow going to bump up against that, the answer is no. And it can be difficult to say no sometimes, but when you know that in the long run, that's the best decision because you're in touch with your authentic self, it makes it a lot easier for you. Finding what you love and getting more of it. So, what I did when I left CNN, I looked at what I loved about the position that I currently have because there was a lot of good there. Okay. So, what did I love about being the vice president of ad sales for CNN in the Midwest? I wrote all that down, what fed me, what actually distracted from me, what some of my non negotiables were, what was making me feel angst, what was feeding me and giving me energy. And then I developed a plan so that I could get more of that. And today I can honestly say that all of the things that I wrote down when I left, I am getting more of. And I get none of the stuff that I wasn't happy with. So again, I understood that and I knew that. And then I built my plan around that. And in 90 days, I had a plan that I worked in order to create what I loved. I had to get clear on my why, and I always work with my clients to get clear on their why. What I mean by that is what's driving you. If you're like, I just want to be vice president, cool, fine, we'll get you there. If your why is, I just want more money so that I can support my family, cool, we can get you there too. If your why is, I just want to feel needed, okay, well, does your current position make you feel that way? What is it that is your driver? It can't just be, well, I kind of, I have a job. Because if that's the case, then this isn't for you. This is, again, about career and growth and driving forward. So we get really clear on the why. And then gaining confidence and mapping out your success. So a lot of times when you're in corporate America, you can kind of feel like, we used to joke around and say, is there life after CNN or is there life after Turner? Because, you just feel like you're part of that whole fabric of the company, so like, is there life outside of it? But you need to gain confidence and realize you have so much talent. And in fact, probably what you do every day is like 10 different jobs. Every client I've ever had, including myself, when we left or when we took a look, because you don't have to leave the job, but you can transform it into what you want. But when we took a look at it, we realized, holy cow, everything we do all day long could be like 10 different jobs. We do so much because we are very successful, badass women. So gaining confidence around that is really important. And then working my freedom framework. So there's a freedom framework that I work with them on, that every decision that they make, they go through and they ask themselves 10 different questions. And depending on their answers on those questions, it helps really solidify for them exactly what their answers should be and what their path should be and where they should be headed. So again, like just really drilling down into what that is. So where do you start? You're like, okay, Amanda, this sounds really great, but that sounds like, some work to be done. Where do I even start? Well, it's not overwhelming. It's really easy to start. You just have to say to yourself, I'm going to start. And you can use my planner. that can be helpful, or you can do this on your own. But this planner lays it out for you. It's 150 pages that actually will take you through the 90 days every single day. But the vision of, of your success needs to be created by first looking at the foundational points, like that would be your value system, and doing an exercise to find out exactly what that is. Doing visioning exercises where you actually like literally sit down and write where you want to be in a year or 5 years. It can be where you start to just free journal and just write out what you're thinking, because a lot of what you're thinking you don't even realize in there comes out when you're free writing and just writing in a journal, which is part of the planner. um, and then every single day being accountable to yourself. So you can't say, well, in 90 days I'm going to make all these changes and then not actually work the plan. So first you have to figure out what the value system is, what your why is, what your vision is, where you're going. So create that map of where you want to go. And then every single day for 90 days, work that plan. So this planner is a digital planner and it's $27. You can get it from my website. It's under the planner on the navigation bar on amandahercoaching.com. And it makes you work every day. Like you check in every day with yourself. You're putting down your goals every single day. Then every week you kind of look back at the week. Every month you look back at the month, what went well, what didn't go well, where are you at on your plan. And within 90 days, you're going to make a change for yourself. You're going to know yourself better and you're going to be moving toward that success. So you can work with this planner or you can do this on your own. Obviously, I suggest the planner because it's going to keep you accountable. You can also work with me. I work privately with some clients, and I have 3 spots left in my private program, and those are, they can start at any time. But I work with you, and I go through this process for the 90 days. So that's also an option. So I'm not saying that it's insurmountable on your own, but I am saying, whether it's me or another coach, I think that it would benefit you to actually work with a coach so that you stay accountable and you do the work, because that's going to be the difference between when you said you were going to do it and when you are actually going to do it. Okay. So here is where I actually stopped talking. And now, if you have any questions that I haven't answered, please let me know and I'd be happy to answer them.